Yo, what's up?
Okay, let's start up with Unreal Tournament 2003. What can people expect from this title?
Well, it's the thing that you first need to note about Unreal Tournament 2003. It's a sequel. It's a follow-up, and so we'd like to take what worked in the original and improve upon that while removing the things that didn't work and coming up with new and original ideas in other areas. So you're going to see the flat cannon returning. However, it only bounces once, so it's less spammy. Shock rifles returning. One thing that Digital Extremes, the co-developers of the games, has done is added a sniper rifle, which is basically a lightning gun slash railgun slash sniper rifle. So when you get sniped, at least you know where you're getting shot from. It's got a really cool zoom on it. We got the returns of the headshots, double kills, multi kills. We got all sorts of crazy ass environments. You got your beautiful outdoorsy types areas. You got your high tech environments. You got your castle type environments. Really touching on a lot of the the things that made the original UT better and taking them to the new degree, because you really can do some really sick scenes with all the triangle counts of these computers these days. So I think hitting it on all fronts with that game.
What kind of new weapons do you have?
Yeah, one of the cool things that has been implemented is the idea of this shield gun that the DE guys have put in. It's basically it's the primary fire of it acts a lot like the impact hammer, where you can kind of hold it down, and that's cool and everything, but the alt fire for that creates a big shield bubble in front of your character, and you can use that to deflect shots and avoid shots and use it as a defensive weapon. It's pretty cool. Translocator returns, a bunch of others return. One of the other cool weapons is they have this tag laser, and basically it's this kind of normal looking little tiny gun, and in an outdoor area, if you point it at the ground and hold down the button, it calls it an ion satellite strike to the ground, which causes an enormous explosion. It's one of the cool super weapons. I know a lot of the gamers out there aren't big on super weapons, but the thing is you're never going to really win a match using a super weapon. I mean, they're usually limited in some ways, and the respawn time is too long, and the thing about those guns is they allow the newbies to occasionally get a kill, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So there's oh man, what else have they got there? The bio rifle returns. They have the default enforcer's been replaced with a machine gun that has an alt fire of grenades. So something old, something new, something borrowed and blue. You know how it goes.
What about the game modes? What's changed? What's new?
First thing is you got your deathmatch coming back. You got team deathmatch, capture the flag. Domination's been changed quite a bit. It's now double domination. There's two control points in the map, and each team has to hold both points for a specified period of time before scoring a point. And then there's this new game type, which is called bombing run, which is kind of like football with guns. Basically, players are carrying this bomb, which acts like the ball, and you have to carry it over to your enemy's base and either jump through a hoop or throw it through the hoop. And if you throw it through the hoop, you get 3 points. If you jump through the hoop, you get 7 points. So you can, there's a lot of back and forth in there. It's really kind of sport-like. Assault, unfortunately, isn't going to make it in the shipping game, but we're going to leave a lot of the functionality in there for the mod community to kind of put that in if they want to. So it should work out okay.
Cool. The original game is quite a few levels. How many can we expect in the new game?
There will be a minimum of 30 levels shipping with the game, possibly more. Basically, Epic and DE are working on just a pile of really cool levels, and the ones that are the best will ship with the game, so that we have a minimum of 30. And maybe we'll find time to put even more in. Usually later in the development cycle, everybody gets better with the tools, and the levels start coming along quicker and quicker and quicker. That happened a lot with UT, and that's happening now. So a minimum of 30, maybe more, and then the other levels might be used for a bonus pack or something else along those lines. Or maybe they might make an appearance at Unreal Championship.
You say Epic and Digital Extremes. You guys are helping them with the game then?
Yeah, everybody at Epic is currently spending a bit of time working on the game. I'm building levels. All my guys are building levels, and we're building art assets. Our programmers are working on it. Basically, you have two full teams now throwing their weight behind this project to try and get it done for a summer release.
Okay, so you recently changed the name from 2 to 2003
Yep.
to make it more sporty.
Yeah.
Have you been showing it around to the online gaming leagues?
Yeah, we're currently in some talks with various professional gaming leagues. I don't want to give any names and spoil anything yet, but needless to say, we're doing what we can to make sure Unreal Tournament 2003 is one of the premier games that's played professionally. I think professional gaming is the shit. I think it's totally badass that people can get paid to do this, and I'm all for it. And if we can get some major tournaments to play it, then I'll be coming down and visiting and handing out trophies and whatnot. Should be cool.
That's cool. All right. So you get on the Xbox, you get Unreal Championship. Some people think this is just a port of Unreal Tournament 2003. Is anything different?
Yeah, I mean there's the way that the game's going to be played is going to be somewhat different. What's probably going to wind up happening is the players are going to spawn with the majority of the weapons instead of having to run around the map and find the weapons, so that when you spawn you can just jump right in and not have to worry about that and just blow people up. One of the main things we're going to try and do is make sure that there's as many like exclusive levels and exclusive characters and whatnot to the Xbox version, so that there's reason to basically buy and own both. And I mean, currently I don't have any numbers yet, but it's shaping up that there's going to be some pretty sweet stuff that's Xbox exclusive.
All right. And when's that coming out again?
That'll be out for Christmas.
Alright, Unreal Tournament, Unreal 2. What can you tell me about that?
Unreal 2 is the full name is Unreal 2: The Awakening. It's the single-player follow-up to the original Unreal. It's being developed by Legend Entertainment. They're based out of Maryland. It's been in development for a while. It's coming soon. It's targeted for Christmas. It's a very cool kind of a single-player action-adventure kind of game. You basically have to go find these artifacts on like the ass end of the galaxy. You're kind of a frontier marshal type character, in the wild, wild west, but in space, of course. And you got to go out and retrieve these artifacts, and they wind up tying into the whole story and what they're for and what they wind up, what their power is. You can't have to figure all that out, and you wind up going back to you have a ship that you cruise on. You go back there, and there's characters you meet and interact with. So it's kind of like an adventure game in some areas. And then there's various attack and defense scenarios where you're setting up force fields and turrets and fighting off waves of attackers. And then some more traditional single player where you have to make it through the level with all sorts of crazy scripted sequences and cool AI and great weapon effects. I mean, it's very much balls to the wall single player game, no multiplayer at all, very much focused on your cool single player experience.
Now, in what way has the graphics engine improved since your original Unreal?
Well, basically it's like anywhere from a 20,000 triangle scene to hundreds of thousands of triangles. It depends on the environment. In the original UT we were like only 200 triangles at a time, and that was pretty weak back then. And we significantly upgraded things. We have like your average like door frame is like maybe 1,000 triangles in some scenes, and I mean it's just having to figure out how to go from a level designer touching every vertex in his level to this current pipeline has been tricky for everybody, and hopefully we're figuring it out. I think the levels speak for themselves.
Yeah, can you like scale the graphics options for?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, since Unreal 2 and Unreal Tournament 2003 are both coming out on the PC, it's going to be very, very important for us to allow for the graphics to be scaled down appropriately for the crappy lower end systems.
Do you have like any special support for like GeForce 4?
There's been some talk about that, but everything's negotiable right now.
All right. Not too long ago, you guys announced that you dropped the multiplayer support in Unreal 2. Some people like saw it as a way to like get them paid twice, like Unreal 2 and Unreal 2. What do you say about that?
Well, the thing is Unreal 2's multiplayer was always like it would be cool to do it if we had all the time in the world, but and we really, I mean, it was never like a key part of the design. The focus of the design has always been make a cool single player experience, and the focus of Unreal Tournament has always been make a cool multiplayer experience. So I mean, we're not really doing like a bait and switch on anybody here. It's really to the point where if you were to try and make the be all end all game that has all the single player people want, all the multiplayer, I mean, you'd be in development for 12 years and spend $10 billion on it, and by the time the game would come out, it would be obsolete. So I mean, it's better to focus on do several things right than do a dozen wrong.
Yeah, that sounds right. What can you tell us about the gameplay in Unreal 2? I mean, Unreal 1 started off pretty good, but then like...
Yeah. The first Unreal started really strong and then kind of turned into your typical key hunt. And I've been working a lot with Legend Entertainment to make sure that there's tons of things going on besides your typical shoot dudes, hit the switch. It's important in these kinds of games to make sure that there's well-defined short-term goals as well as well-defined long-term goals. I'm solving this puzzle so that I can proceed to the next area, so that I can retrieve the artifact, so that I can save the galaxy. And players really have a sense of that. And to do that, it requires a lot of work. I mean, you need a lot of scripted sequences. There needs to be a lot of stuff going on, and that takes time. And I'm playing through the builds that I get from Legend, and Legend knows what they're doing, and with minor input from me, they're doing tons of scripted sequences and tons of cool stuff, and I think it'll turn out well.
Cool. All right. In the original Unreal Tournament, you get like weapons returning from Unreal, And Unreal Tournament 2003 is like weapons returning from Unreal Tournament. What about Unreal 2? Does it have like all new weapons?
Yeah, for the most part, the weapons in Unreal 2 are original. I was talking to Legend last year, and I was saying, what, you're not going to have a flat cannon? You're not going to have a shock rifle? You need to have those weapons in the game. And Legend was like, oh, okay. And then, recently, I visiting them, I realized, it's actually better that Unreal 2 doesn't have the same arsenal that that UT has, because it's you want a different experience with this kind of game. So they've got like this really sick grenade launcher that has incendiary grenades, EMP grenades, mustard like gas grenades. They got like alien weapons that just they fire out like little options like from the old R-type games that'll hover around your enemies and fight them and everything. There's Azarian like spear type weapons that shoot laser beams and everything. I mean, it's like all sorts of crazy shit they have in there, and it's nothing like UT. It's very different stuff, and it actually has a shotgun, dare I say.
What about the monsters in Unreal 2, like compared to Unreal 1?
Yeah. The only monster that's returning from the first Unreal is the Scar, because he was kind of like the highlight monster. So that's one of the links between the original Unreal and Unreal 2. And they've just got a whole new menagerie of like badass monsters, crazy aliens, and really mean mercenaries. It's all original stuff now.
Cool. Lots of people are like complaining nowadays about the length of games. What kind of like hardcore games expect from Unreal 2?
Like length?
Yeah.
Yeah. The current length of Unreal 2 isn't. There's so much content that Legend's doing. I mean, the game's estimated to be like anywhere 15, 20, maybe more hours, and it depends on the kind of gamer you are. I mean, one of the things I was talking about is the little interludes that you have in your spaceship, and it's like, if you go and you experience those and talk to the characters and solve some of the little puzzles, that'll make the game like 25 to 30% longer. But if you're like, screw this, I just want to go shoot stuff, the game's going to be a little bit shorter for you. I mean, a lot of it depends on what the gamer wants to get out of the game. As far as length goes, but I can assure you that it'll be damn well worth your $50.
Okay, so we have heard about all the Unreal titles that other people are working on. You guys been really quiet about what you guys are working on yourself. When can we expect to hear more about that game? Like after Unreal 2? Or
well, Epic is working on Unreal Warfare, and it's going to come up eventually, but there's not really much to say about it right now. I mean. We're trying to get UT 2003 and Unreal 2 out the door, so that those are the focus. And the more I talk about Warfare and waste breaths on it, that's time I'm not talking about those games that are actually going to be out soon and playable. So it makes no sense to really talk about it.
No kick Doom's ass though.
It's a matter of having different goals in your game and what you want to accomplish, in my opinion. It's hard to beat it at their own game, so might as well go for something different, is what I say.
All right, thanks, Cliff.
Thank you.